This top 10 list is sponsored by Game Toppers. Game Toppers LLC has more than a few solutions that transform almost any normal table into a sturdy and portable gaming table without breaking the bank. Stop by GameToppersLLC.com for everything they currently have to offer you, from game toppers to playmats and more. Hey everyone, welcome back to another top 10 list with yours truly, Sam Healy.
And JT.
And we are going to be doing our top 10 games from 2023.
That we've been able to play so far.
This year, that is correct. There were something like, there were just under 4,800 games that came out this year. According to Board Game Geek, that's what I used to put my list together. So if the dates are wrong, it's their fault. I'm just kidding. It's my fault for not doing more research. But just under 4,800 games.
That means I played 1% of those.
Me too. We were just talking about this on our live Q&A this morning. Mm-hmm. We've only played 1% of the games that came out this year, according to Board Game Geek, which, frankly, their database is pretty comprehensive. And so take that with a grain of salt. Just because it's on our list, it doesn't necessarily make it definitively these are the top 10. These are just
they are the best.
Wow. Wow. I'm trying to be humble here, and you're just throwing salt on it.
It's impossible unless I quit my job and just start playing games
exactly
24 hours a day.
And even then, it would be to 4,800
and I get to 3%.
games. Then you get the 3%, right? So just take that with a grain of salt. These are our top 10 games, with the caveat being we've only played 1% of the games that were released this year.
Yep.
So let's get to it. Okay, so my number 10 is a game that we were just talking about, and we were just talking about how good it is, and that people just aren't talking about it anymore. My number 10, Sky Team. Sky Team. Now, okay.
I don't know who's not talking about it anymore.
I'm not
in the right circles.
I'm not seeing people talk about it as much. Videos that are being put up of it were put up like months ago. After Gen Con, was talking. People were talking about it like, and started at Essen. Started at Origins, and then by Gen Con, everybody and their mothers talking about this game. And now, a couple of months later,
it's interesting because you couldn't even get a copy of it until like early October.
Right. Well, I don't even have a copy of it. I've only played your copy of it. But it is a really fun game.
It's amazing.
Oh my goodness, it's so fun. I've never been in the cockpit while they were landing the plane.
I don't want to now.
I know.
There's too much pressure.
Exactly, right?
I'm up there rolling dice, hoping they get the flaps down.
Oh, I hope that's not the case. It isn't.
Sorry, people. We just rolled a one again.
Put your seatbelts on. Be careful. Oh, man. Yeah. I was just saying that the point I was trying to make was I think if Hollywood is anywhere close to how dramatic landing a plane can be, I think they have correctly simulated that within this game.
With Leslie Nelson? No, I'm just kidding.
With Leslie. Stop calling me Shirley.
That's right.
Oh, man. It's such a fun game. And because everybody was talking about it. So I was like, I don't know. Let's see. We'll see how it is.
Yeah, I was the same.
We'll see how it is. And then we play it, and we're like, holy crap, this is really freaking fun. So it's a great little two-player cooperative game where you're trying to land planes at different airports, and all of those different airports have different things that it's going to be thrown at you. Really a fun game. Super thematic. Really enjoyed it a lot. It's my number 10, Sky Team.
Nice. That's a good pick. That's a good number 10. Yeah, Sky Team's a great game. I think it's going to last for a long time.
I think so, too.
Who's not talking about it, but
yeah.
All right, my number 10 is an Awakened Realms game from Adam Kopinski, and that is Lords of Ragnarok.
Lords of Ragnarok.
I know there's a lot of ups and downs on whether Lords of Ragnarok is good. There's a lot of different views out there, but I really love this game. It's not just area control and having tons of armies running around and beating people up. There's much more to it. You're building temples, you're sending your priests out to worship, you're building monuments, you're trying to have area control, but you only have like six military units. Like it's not a whole war on the map.
Sure.
It's
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
And it just has so much stuff. And while your civilization's doing their thing, your hero gets to run around the board and do whatever he needs to do. He can run to Muspelheim and make an alliance. He can do all these different things. He can go fight monsters. It really simulates that kind of thought process where the hero is going out and doing things while his nation is, trying to survive. And I just really enjoy it. And not to mention the miniatures are fantastic. The art is great.
Yep.
I really like this game.
It's on my short list. It did not make my top 10. And the reason it didn't make my top 10, very similar to the 2022 list. I've only played this once.
Yep.
I did, however, after that one play, I went and picked up my own retail copy of it.
Yeah.
So that says something, but for posterity's sake, I didn't include it on this list because I've only played it once. But I could definitely see it being on my top 10.
Nice. Yep.
All right, my number 9. My number 9 is a game called Deliverance.
Truly.
Deliverance is easily one of my top 10 games of the year, and it's a little bit lower because I think there are other games that I get to the table more, but I really enjoy the dungeon crawl aspect of this game, but it's not really a dungeon crawl. It just feels like a dungeon crawl because you're going through these different tiles, fighting these different monsters. These monsters are difficult to beat. You're trying to rescue saints here and rescue saints over here, and there's a lot going on to it. I do also enjoy although I don't play it as much, I did play test the campaign version of it, where you get to level up your angel as you continue going through the different scenarios of the campaign, and I really enjoy doing that. He's got a lot of things that he's thinking about doing for some expansions later on that are pretty cool. He doesn't want me to talk about them, so I'm not going to. Just know that there's a lot of thoughts going on about that for later on in the future, but it's just a game that I've really enjoyed. And I've got all of the bling from the Kickstarters. One of the few Kickstarters that I've actually backed all in. So it's just a great game. I enjoy it. Number 9, Deliverance.
I don't know if all the scenarios are the same, but the scenarios I played it's more open map. It's more open battle grid type of thing. And you're fighting through a gauntlet of enemies to get to different spots to do different things. So it's not a moving room to room type of thing as much, but you're fighting through these gauntlets of enemies. Yeah. And the angels are really cool.
Yes.
The characters are really cool.
And that's, I think you articulated it better. I think that's what I meant by it's not really a dungeon.
Yeah, it's right.
It just has that feel.
Yep.
It just has that feel. So there you go. My number 9, Deliverance.
Okay. My number 9 is a very new game to 2023. Just got the Kickstarter, I don't know, a month or so ago. Played it a few times now. Looking forward to playing it a lot more. And that is Guild Academies of Valeria from Stan Krodonsky. And Daily Magic Games. Cool. Guild Academies of Valeria builds on the dice drafting of Shadow Kingdoms of Valeria. But in this one, you're trying to build an academy. So you're sending out your little counselors to the docks, and you're picking up students, which are the different colored dice. And you're basically drafting dice as these students. But in the docks, you're either gaining new buildings to go into your academy, or you're gaining new professors to help teach your students, basically level up those dice. Or you're doing whatever else, but you're just building that academy out. And there's several different mechanisms, but it's all based off of that dice drafting at the docks, and then it just continues from there. So, but it's a really cool game. Cool. It kind of has that Dice Hospital, which is also a Stan Krodonsky theme of when you get them into the rooms or the classrooms or whatever else, you're doing different things to manipulate those dice to level them up. Yeah. And once they get to 7, they get to graduate. Yeah. And so on and so forth. So, but it's a really fun game, and it's a beautiful production. So
that's cool. You're bringing that today, right?
I am.
Yeah, cool. Hopefully we get to play that. That sounds cool to me.
Yep.
Alrighty. Sweet. All right, my number 8. Also a Stan Krodonsky game.
Nice.
Although I don't know that I I brought back a prototype of this game from Origins, and I think it's released now.
Uh-oh. Here we go.
It's one of those It's listed as 2023.
Wow.
In Board Game Geek's database, and it is called Nova Roma.
Oh, that's a good question. It's probably a 2023.
I think it is. I think it is.
It's probably a 2023.
But it's also a Stan Kordonski game, and it's got a really neat Roman theme on it, and it's not just, it's not what you would probably normally, although it includes it, it's not like just the races or just the Colosseum or just this. It's or just even the politics of Rome.
Yeah.
It has all of that.
It's a kitchen sink.
Yeah.
Kitchen sink of Rome.
Oh, that sounds kind of gross.
It might be.
But it also has, like, you're exploring the Mediterranean in your ships. It has that into it. It has, you're building up your home and your lands around your home. It has that aspect to it. There's just so much going on. The main mechanism is this grid where you're placing your people, and how many people you have in that row or column determines how many the strength, I guess you could say, or the power of that action for you. I really enjoyed that mechanism a lot, but it does, like he said, it does have like everything in the kitchen sink, which is kind of, I know a lot of Stan's games are kind of like that, though.
They are. And a game that everybody loves of his called Endless Winter, right? It's like Endless Winter. It has all these different things you can do, and you can only do a couple, you want to focus more so. The central mechanism is obviously different because in Endless Winter you're playing cards, but in this one you're using that grid and increasing the strength as you go based on where you place.
Yep.
But it's also very interactive because if you know that Sam needs this and he's going to get it bigger and bigger and bigger, you don't want to, you can very much
you're
play
supposed
to
to
the
pick
other players.
You're supposed to pick like up to 3 things and do those 3 things really well. That's what Stan said, and that's very true. You don't have to do anything, and even you shouldn't do everything.
Yeah.
You need to pick like 2 or 3 things.
Not to completely compare them because they're both very different games. But I like this one better. Endless Winter starts out very tight, but at the very end it is very wide open and maybe too loose for me.
But this one stays tight.
This one stays tight.
Yeah, that's cool.
Through the game.
All right, that's my number. What number was that? Number 8.
Number 8.
Nova Roma.
Nova Roma. That's a good pick. It was on my short list. And I need to play it more.
Yeah.
For it to be farther up.
Well, it's sitting right over there, dude.
Yep. I know. There's so much stuff to play. My number 8 kind of breaks the rules in this one slightly. It's definitely a 2023 game, and it's a fantastic game, but I've only played it once. So for it to make this list...
That's a self-imposed rule. It's not a rule that I think everybody should do.
No, I know it's not a rule, but this one is so interesting to me. After playing it once, I definitely want to play it more, and that is Darwin's Journey from Thundergriff Games.
Yeah, that's a good one.
This game is got a lot going on. It's very interesting.
That's putting it lightly.
It's a worker placement game, and you have workers. The theme of the game is amazing because this is Darwin's Journey. We are trying to, by ship, by land, you're trying to get out, you're trying to find new species, you're trying to explore and discover. You're discovering new species, and later on you get to research those new species. You're gaining these scrolls. You're basically gaining, your workers have, I don't remember what they're called, but like a wax stamp of different colors. Like you're getting certified to do more and more things, just like if you were back in English times and you were trying to get the crown's okay to do more stuff, right? It's kind of that kind of thought process and thinking. And you're doing stuff with the scrolls, and you're doing, it's just a really neat overall game.
I completely agree with that.
I really like the theme.
It's a lot heavier than a game that
sure
I would always be coming back to, which is why it's not on my list. But I really enjoyed our play of it because the mechanisms aren't there just to be a puzzle for you to figure out to score the most points. They all make sense according to the theme. And that's what I really enjoyed about it. And usually Euro games aren't that great at that. It'll make it look pretty, but at its core, it's still just a bunch of mechanisms that you're trying to manipulate to score the most points. In this one, the theme is really married to the mechanisms. Or rather, let's go the other direction. The mechanisms are really married to the theme, and that makes a huge difference in my book. So that's a great pick. I really enjoyed that game. My number 7. Now, I broke my own rule on my number 7.
Uh-oh, here it goes again. We're breaking rules left and right. I don't know what
rules are made to be broken, boy.
I want to know who made the rules in the first place.
I made the rules so that I can break it. So my number 7, I've only played this once. I've only done a demo of it, and I've only played it on TTS.
Oh, my goodness.
So there you have it. I broke all the rules.
Wow.
But I really enjoyed this game a lot. Kelte.
Is it out? Technically?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it came out at Essen. It came out at Essen. It was available at Essen. I don't think it's made it over to America yet, but it is on the way, and it is available. So I'm good, I think. And if I'm not, sue me. Don't sue me because you won't get much. But I'm just saying. Anyway, Kelte is a really, really fun game. The first thing that drew me to this is the box cover, and they made some really purposeful decisions on the box cover to just make it stark and just have that kind of brave, Celtic red flame-haired female warrior as the only part. No name of the game on the front of the cover. Nothing. That's what first drew me in. I was like, wow, that's very stark.
Yeah,
but
the cover's cool.
It has the same artwork as all of those Shem Phillips games. I can't remember his name.
D'Amico?
Sure. I don't remember his name, so maybe that's right. Maybe it isn't. But it has his artwork on it. It's amazing. It's a huge rondel game where the board is a huge rondel. You can come down here and or you have 1, 2, 3, 4 spots that you can go to. And each of those different spots allows you to do one thing in this area or one thing in this area.
Right. So like Merchants of the Dark Road, where you're landing in between the two.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you're landing in between the two. So it gives you a number of things if you land on that spot.
Yep.
And there's a lot of cool things you can do. You can fight the Romans that are invading your lands in a couple of the different areas. You can send your wise men off to do different things and gain more points and recruit more people that way. It's a really cool system. I really, really enjoyed it.
Nice. I can't wait.
Can't wait for my review copy to get
I
here.
haven't played this one yet. It's funny because every time a new game comes out for me, not that I want to sidetrack, but every time a new game comes out for me, I throw it in my wish list. If I see it and I'm like, hey, that might be something I like, I throw it in my wish list. So I threw this in my wish list, and then I started watching a little bit of stuff or reading a little bit of stuff, and then I was like, maybe not. And then we went to Calgary Game Day, and he had it out there on the table, and we started talking about it a little bit, and I'm like, yeah, I got to play this game, but I haven't played it yet.
Yeah. It's on the way.
But it sure looked good, too.
It's on the way.
Yeah.
So we'll play it as soon as it gets here.
That's awesome.
Because I really enjoyed it. Had a great time playing. Now again, I only played it 2-player with the publisher, and so and it was a thing where I haven't experienced the rule book yet. I haven't experienced any of that kind of stuff. That all kind of weighs into how much I enjoyed. Yep. How I would rate a game rather. But how much did I enjoy the experience? Really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it. Really had a fun time.
That's good.
So that's my exciting. Number 7, breaking all the rules, Kelte.
All right. My number 7 might be a break of the rules, but I'm saying that it's been long enough since the original game that this is considered a new game. And that's Amun-Re.
Oh, yeah.
20th anniversary edition.
That made my short list. But no, wait. Yeah, that made my short list.
He forgot about it.
No, I didn't.
Oh. It's a very, very short list. Amun-Re, 20th anniversary edition. I don't really like bidding games very much. In fact, other than things like Power Grid, I love Power Grid. That's why I said this is Egyptian Power Grid to me. I don't know why I equate those two games together, but
it kind of makes sense.
But you are bidding on these different locations, along the Nile, for different reasons. You may want them for pyramids or for stone production or for card production or whatever else. But you're bidding on this, and the bidding mechanism is really fun, and really interactive. Even in a 2-player game.
Yeah, it was.
Really cool. So there's 2 different eras, and there's 3 different basically rounds in those eras. So you're going to end up with 3 different areas, and you're trying to do that. You're trying to grab certain ones for, to meet goal cards. You're also balancing, and it's really all about your money, right? This game is all about your money. You're bidding here. That's why it reminds me of Power Grid, because you're bidding here, and then you're figuring out how much money you want to spend for worship to see where the temple goes, and knowing how that temple is going to affect your income and what you can do with that money and how much money you're going to spend in the market. I mean, it's all that. It is that money. It's that economic flow throughout every round. The game is gorgeous.
Yeah.
The statue's abilities are really cool. It's a really neat game.
Yeah. Yeah. The 20th anniversary edition just knocked it out of the park. Alley Cat Games did such a good job. And I think I totally see the connection between this and Power Grid. I think the reason why I like this game so much more than Power Grid is that math is abstracted away into the theme.
It is
so much better
absolutely
than it is for Power Grid.
Yeah,
so great pick. My number six is a game that you actually taught us how to play. We played it, me, you, and Jess, all live. And that was that first thing, and then I actually bought a second copy from you. That you got by kind of accident, not really, but and that is Imperial Miners.
Nice.
Imperial Miners. I just did a solo play of this a couple days ago, earlier this week, and really enjoyed the solo play of it as well because
it's a nice solitaire game.
Nothing changes.
Yeah.
Nothing changes because that is exactly what it is.
It's a very nice
multiplayer. Is just multiplayer solitaire. That's all it is.
Yep.
You don't interact really with anybody. You don't get in anybody else's way. So the solo mode experience is exactly like the multiplayer experience.
Yep. But you just get a motor through too.
You just get to go, you don't have to wait for anybody else or anything like that. So it's a really fun experience, and I like it when solo mode games are like that. But that's why I like this game so much, is that no matter how many players you have, it's all the same. And I know that a lot of games are like that because a lot of, especially the Euro style games, they're going to be solo. They're going to be kind of like multiplayer solitaire. But this one is so...
we now call that solo adjacent. I'm just kidding.
But I really enjoy it. I like the artwork. I like how you can chain different things together. I like how all of the different events kind of fuel those like curveballs that the game will throw at you. And some of those curveballs are really good.
Yep.
And some of them are not that bad, but they're definitely not good. And some of them are like, oh, crap, why did that have to happen now? And I just really enjoy that. I enjoy the progression tracks as well and working up those. I found that in my solo mode, I was able to work up those a lot faster for some reason. I don't know why.
Well, you didn't do much track stuff when we played it together.
Sure. Yeah.
I moved through quite a few tracks.
Yeah. Okay. So maybe it was just
the style or the way that you played.
Yeah. But really enjoy it.
It's a light game.
Yeah, very light. Super light.
It's very light, but it's actually quite enjoyable for that reason. I think actually I like this. I mean, for a family setting, this is great.
Yeah.
But I really like the solo mode.
Yeah.
If you don't want to sit down and just have a little fun I'd rather do that than play solitaire.
Yeah. Understood. All right. That's my number 6. Imperial Miners.
Right on. My number 6 is the newest Stonemaier game, and that is called Apiary. Apiary, Bees in Space.
Bees in Space.
How to explain this one so much? You're bees in space. You have a spaceship. You start out with your colony, and you're really just trying to build out your spaceship with all of these different tiles, with farms and business tiles and the honey tiles, which are kind of end game scoring tiles. But you're building out this grid, and you can add on to that. But your bees as workers are going to continue to go to these different spots to get you tiles or get you resources, or get you cards that give you small bonuses or single effects, things like that. But every time they go out there to work, they're going to come back older. And that means they can go out there and, they can go out there and thematically they can do a little bit more until they get to the point of retirement and hibernation, which at that time you're going to have to get more bees. But it's just very fluid.
If they're just hibernating, why do they have to get more?
Well, you got to have somebody working, always. The queen ship goes around the planets for you, and her ship is kind of exploring planets and getting you resources, and you're building this up. But it just has a very nice flow. The turns are fast. You go here, I'm going here. Bees are bumping, and it's just a nice continuous. And you might want people to knock your bees off a spot so that you can get them back, or you might want your bees to stay there for specific reasons so that you can use their numbers later to help you. It just has a nice flow. It's got a great table presence. It's got great interaction with all of the people, and it's not extremely heavy. So you can play this with just about anybody. So I really like apiary.
That's good. That's good. It didn't make my list again.
Got cool components.
Yeah, it does. It does have cool components. It didn't make my list because, again, I've only got one play under my belt. I did have, I was kind of just manning the chat when you taught it to Troy and those two other gentlemen at Calgary. But so I was experienced it, but I wasn't playing. So it didn't make my list. But I think this is probably, I think I'm safe in saying this is my favorite Stonemaier game to date.
Nice.
Because I did enjoy it. I really enjoyed it. It's not that heavy, but it flows very well, like you were saying. And I think it's thematic for how thematic a bee and space game can be, I think.
It's my favorite Stonemaier game to date,
really?
Too.
Cool.
I would think, yeah.
All right, my number 5. My number 5 is your number 7.
My number 7?
Yeah.
Amun-Re.
Amun-Re 20th Anniversary Edition. So you didn't break any rules. This game came out this year.
Yep.
It is a 20th Anniversary Edition. It is a deluxe edition of the old Amun-Re. But I think with all of the changes that the deluxe edition gives the game, I think we're cool calling this a 2023 release.
Nice.
It's based, of course, it is a continuation. Maybe that's not the right word, but this came out in 2023, so I think it's a valid choice. Yeah. It's the statues, all of the different things, all of the different modules that you can add into the old game. I think it's a great thing, and oh my goodness, does it look good.
Yep.
Oh my goodness, does it look good. Alley Cat Games just knocked this one out of the park. Everything that you've already said about it, we're not going to belabor the point anymore, but I totally agree with everything you said. Really enjoy it. That's my number, what is it, 5?
6.
6?
No, your number 5.
My number 5 is Amun-Re.
Your number 5 is Amun-Re.
Yep.
Right on. Well, my number 5 has already been mentioned on yours.
Oh.
And
wait a minute. Let me check.
I definitely like this.
Sky Team.
Yep. I definitely like this more than the masses, apparently, and that's Sky Team. I'm joking.
I just haven't seen, it used to be everybody was talking about it, and now I don't see people say, yeah.
Like, I guarantee Melissa and I go anywhere, this will probably be going with us. It's so easy to put down and play. We've played it, I don't even know, not umpteen dozen, that's not right, but we've played it at least a dozen times, and I've played it with other people. But yeah, Sky Team is great. It's just a fun little puzzle. And it's a fun little, why did you do that when I need it? No, I'm just kidding.
Yep.
It's exactly
tense.
What it is. Like the whole time, it's tense. And, it's got some really cool modules. I think we've played with every module.
Well, that's the cool thing about the game is it's such that you can play it 3 or 4 times in one sitting. Mm-hmm. And that's the cool thing about it because you've only brought it over once, but we played I think 4 times because Jess and I played it. And then I think we played 3 different modules. Yep. And that's a great pick. I love it.
I love Sky Team. Yep.
All right, my number 4. And I think this counts because you've got your copy of this game now, so you can stop belly aching about it.
Okay.
Marvel Zombies is my number 4 for this year. Now I've only played the retail version of it. I haven't played JT's pimped out robust and everything in the kitchen sink, every Marvel character ever created in creation, Marvel Zombies version. So take that with a grain of salt. But I think this is probably, this is a big statement, but I think this is now my favorite iteration of Zombicide. And it's a Zombicide game. So there are some differences. But those differences are what I think I really like and why I think this is better than Black Plague now for me. So that's that. We've talked about Zombicide games so much.
A lot,
I don't think I need to put too much in here, but Marvel Zombies is such a fun game, and I love it so much. So that's my number 4, Marvel Zombies.
And I have to stop belly aching. All right, my number 4 is a newer game by my favorite designer, it seems. Shem Phillips.
Yes.
As Scholars of the South Tigris.
I knew this was going to be on your
I absolutely
I thought it was going to be higher.
I know. It hurts my brain. I absolutely love this game. It's dice placement. It's basically, it's really card placement, and then using dice as resources and meeples as resources, basically, to do these different things. But the theme works really well. You've got your houses of wisdom, where you want to translate these scrolls to Arabic, and they come in all different, languages at first, and you got to hire translators that know these different languages. One that can take it from Greek to Hebrew, and then the next guy that can take it from Hebrew to Arabic, or Sanskrit, or whatever else in between there. But so you're hiring these. You're going around the world, which isn't. It's not a huge mechanism going around the world, but you're going around the world and collecting these scrolls, putting them in your houses of wisdom, and then translating them, which is ultimately your goal. You're interacting with these translators, but everything on there either depends on the values of the dice or depends on the colors of the dice. And you also have this nice tech track in the middle, where you can get good at all these different technologies. That all makes sense. But I really like this game. It is very cohesive.
Sure.
Everything in the game makes a lot of sense and connects together very well.
All of the other things affect a lot of the other things in the game too. I think the coolest part of the theme in this is that having those different translators. This translator will take it from this language to this language. Then you have to have another translator take it from that language to this language. That's my favorite part of the theme. But unfortunately, I think it's the one thing that probably doesn't score you as much points. But that's the thing that I like.
The translations?
Well, having to change those together, and I did not do as well as I should have done in that. But that's my favorite part of the theme.
Yeah.
In my one game that I played, I didn't do very well in chaining all that stuff together. But I like that part of the game the best.
Yeah.
I think it's really an interesting thing. But yeah, it's a good pick. But it's one of those games that I think it's a little bit too. It's a little bit too far outside of my wheelhouse as far as weight is concerned, but I really enjoyed it. I really did.
Yeah, I love it.
My number 3. This is the. Nope, there's another one. I was gonna say this is the only Vincent Dutrait artwork game on this list,
man.
but it isn't. But this one is cool. It's called After Us. And After Us there's been a lot of people that said a lot of not really bad things about it, but just that it was kind of a letdown for them. They were expecting it to be more of a game, and I think that's unfair to say that about a game, because it didn't fit your expectations. Well, then it's not as good.
Sure.
Well, maybe you just were expecting the wrong thing, and it's a great game. And that's where I'm kind of at. I was expecting a little bit more out of it, but I really enjoy what it is. So my expectation kind of goes out the window, and I have to look at the game the way it is. And so I really enjoy this deck building game that is simply a race to 80 points. You're just trying to race to 80 points, and you're trying to build your deck so that you can get there faster than everybody else does. But in the middle of all of that, you're also trying to cull some of those weaker cards out of your deck. It's exactly what a deck builder is, and people have been saying that it's not as much of a deck builder as they wanted it to be. And I was like, wow, it has everything that a deck builder needs, but it has a few twists in there that make it different. So I really enjoyed it.
Where does it fit weight-wise?
Oh, it's super light.
Okay.
It's super.
I think that's probably why.
That's another thing. Yeah, that's
a little bit heavier.
Probably so. Florian Sirix is the designer of it. Is that right? I think that's right. I'm pretty sure that's right. Okay. But I really enjoyed After Us. The artwork, Vincent Dutrait, is amazing. But as with most Vincent Dutrait games, I just wanted more artwork than there is in the game. But that's really the only detractor from the game for me. I really enjoy it. That's my what is it, number 3 after us.
Nice. My number 3 is one of your favorite games of all time. No, that's a lie. Anytime I say that, it's probably a lie. My number 3 is a nice tableau building game called Earth.
Okay.
Who doesn't like dirt and sprouts and little mushroom trees?
I will say this. I recognize the brilliance of the design. And if you like Terraforming Mars, you will probably love Earth. I am not a big fan of Terraforming Mars, and I did not like Earth at all. But I see the brilliance of the design. It's just not for me.
Yeah, well, my wife, we love tableau builders anyways. Yeah. But Earth is a fantastic game. It's action selection. And when you select an action, everybody gets to do something. So, simultaneous play continuously. There's no really waiting around. There's no... any of that kind of stuff. The tableau building is interesting. It's just a 4x4 grid of cards, but how you place those in there and where you set them and how they trigger off. I mean, all of those things.
It's just a 4x4 grid of cards.
That is true.
There's 16 cards out there in your tableau.
Cards, and it's amazing.
You can't say the word just.
So, Inside Up Games and Maxine Tardif did a fantastic job with this.
Yeah.
I usually 3D print stuff, but for this one, I went out and bought the nice little dirt piles and pails and all that stuff.
Really?
Yeah. They're really freaking cool. But yeah, Earth, my number 3. This game will stay in my collection forever.
I really enjoyed it the one time that I played with it, but my oh my, at the end of that game, I was exhausted. I felt like I had been digging in the earth all day.
There you go.
So,
the only way you can plant.
There you go. All right, my number 2 is another game by Florian Sirius, and it's also, this is a weird thing, so my number 3 was Florian Sirius. My number 2 is Florian Sirius as designers, and they both have the same artist, Vincent Dutrait. This one is called the Art Project.
Oh, I haven't played this one
yet.
The
ART Project. Yep. I'm bringing it today, so maybe.
Nice.
But it is a cooperative game that has a very pandemic feel to it. But the theme is really cool. You are part of the art project team, which is a team of basically, heroes that are going out, and you're trying to stop the White Hand from stealing all of these different pieces of artwork in different
send his orcs
towns.
out after him?
That's...
Huh? No?
No, it's not.
That's the only White Hand I know.
It's not orcs. It's not. It's not Sauron. It's just that's the name of the group. But funny enough, they do have like helmets and like it just has
the white hand on the helmet.
White hand on it. Well, it's like a ski mask with a white hand on it. So anyway, it's got
an homage. Then.
It's got to be. But it's a cool theme. Artwork is great, but the gameplay is also pretty fun. You have a hand of you draw a certain number of cards. In a multiplayer game, it's 2 cards, and then you have to play one of those 2 cards. And the cards will have 4 different aspects of it. It's it's resources that you have to lose at the top, and then in the middle, it's how many hand agents you have to put out on the table in the different cities. And then a number of resources that you are rewarded with. And then the 4th aspect is the number of clues that you get where the next piece of art is going to come up. And that's whatever card you play is put into a tableau of cards. And when you have 3 matching symbols, that's where the next piece of artwork comes out onto the board. And you're trying to rescue these pieces of art. So when you get there, when one comes out, you've got to get over there and rescue it. But when you rescue the pieces of art, the hand is getting stronger as you reckon. So it's a really fun game. There's just some dice rolling for combat. You have to use your resources to move around the board. You can use resources to manipulate your dice rolls. You can call allies with the walkie-talkies. It's a really fun game, and I've enjoyed it. I have yet to beat it, though.
Oh,
and
really?
I've played it 5 times.
Wow.
And I have yet to beat it. But I'm so close. And that's what I think it feels like. It doesn't feel like it's unbeatable. I just haven't got there yet.
Nice.
And I love it when games are like that.
That's
so
cool.
That's my number. What is this? 3? 2. 2. Yeah, 2. The art project.
And that beat out your Star Wars Pandemic?
Haven't played that yet.
Oh.
Haven't played Clone Wars yet.
Oh.
So, I don't know yet.
Oh, okay.
We'll have to see.
Right on. All right. Well, my number 2 is probably no surprise to anybody. It is a great IP, and it's a very cool IP, and that is The Witcher Old World.
Yeah.
The Witcher Old World is just, this game was built for me. Like, the exploration, the leveling up your character, the fighting all of the thematic monsters, your deck being your life. It's definitely a deck builder.
Yeah.
And a deck caller and, all those kind of things. Mm-hmm. But it's just a great open world, enjoyable thing, man.
Yeah.
It's fun.
I got to play this again at PAX Unplugged.
Nice.
With a couple of my buddies there, Jim and Vernon.
Yeah.
And again, we didn't get to finish the game, but we got to play through it enough for it to refresh my memory. Mm-hmm. And that is what pretty much put that on my my short list for this, because I really do enjoy that.
It's really fun.
I'm not as invested in the IP as probably you or other people are, but I did. My deepest dive into the IP is I've watched the Netflix series.
Show.
That's it. I've read a couple of the graphic novels that are out there, but that's really it. I don't have much more into it than that. So I wasn't really, but the system, the game, the exploration, the story behind it, the even the gambling and the fighting each other, and
the bar fights and the encounter cards and the
gambling and all that. It's a really fun game. Yep. So definitely good pick. My number one is a game that I just taught to you on BGA a couple of nights ago.
I can't wait.
Nar, K-N-A-R-R.
It
It is.
It is not.
It is. It came out at Essen.
I can't buy a copy anywhere.
It's on the way over here as we speak. Pandasaurus is already opening up pre-orders, I think, for it, because they're going to be the localizer here for America. They already had it up in Canada. That's where I got it.
I looked at Pandasaurus's pre-order thing and it says this item is sold out. So I don't know if that means the pre-order sold out.
It
or
is.
You just have to wait for the sold out, or that just sucks.
I think it means that the pre-order is sold out because it's such a great game.
It's a great game.
But really your good old pal Sam has a copy, so you can borrow it whenever you want.
I'm taking it for the Christmas vacation, so I can play it 45 times.
Probably would too.
I will.
All right. So that's my number one. I love this game. It is a very romantic look at Viking life. So it doesn't have the grunge and the grime and the gore that probably comes with pillaging and all of that kind of stuff in Vikingdom. But I will say that it is a very fun game that has a lot of really neat twists. Yep. It's also kind of more of a tableau builder because you're building your crew and then you're using your crew.
Yeah, it's kind of a set collection, set spending.
Definitely a set collection. And yeah, I can say, set spending is probably better. I don't think it is, but that sounds better than tableau building. But I really enjoy it. It has great artwork. I think the packaging is also one of the cool things about the game because it has these card boxes.
Inside of it?
Inside the box.
Oh, nice. And
it keeps all the cards nice. It keeps all the cards. And on top of that, the package is not like twice as big as it should be. Yeah. It fits all of the components exactly how it should. And I really enjoy that.
Funny enough, this is another one of those games that hit my wish list. And then the artwork is pretty, but it doesn't quite grab me. And then the table presence, when you just see like a picture, didn't quite grab me. So I ended up taking it off. But I kept thinking about it, and then we saw it more. And then obviously when you taught it to me, it's way more than...
It's funny because I was teaching another guy in the airport, and he said that the preview of the game on their, I guess their Kickstarter. I don't know if they ran a Kickstarter of it or not. I'm not.
I can't remember.
But he said that the preview video that he saw of the game turned him off.
Yeah.
And then after I taught him how to play, he loves it.
Yeah, I
So,
kind of was in
that's
the same
interesting.
boat. There was,
Yeah.
I did some research on it. I thought it was one that I was going to chase down, and then I kind of let it go.
Let it cooled on it.
But then I played it, and I want it now. I will have it.
Super cool.
It's an awesome game.
That's my number one. Nar.
That's a good number one. All right. Well, my number one, would you like to guess?
It's probably not on my list. Let me look at my list of games. Hold on. Just stay right there. It's not going to be that. Not going to be that. Not going to be any of those. Have I mentioned it?
I'm not going to tell you.
Oh, you
Not yet,
jerk.
anyways.
That might be it. That might be it. Ooh. Is it that? I don't think it is.
What is it?
I'm not going to say it yet.
Oh.
It could be this. You really like that one. Okay. I'm going to give you 4 that I think it might be.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to say all 4, and then you tell me if I'm right. All right. So, Wild Wild West, Tamashi, Chronicle of the Ascend, Last Light, Scarface 1920.
Nope.
Dang it.
My number one is Marvel Zombies.
Really?
A zombie-side game.
I knew it. I knew it. I didn't say it because you're being such. Oh, he's playing the long game like he usually does.
I played the long game on that one. My number one is Marvel Zombies, zombie-side game.
He's been playing this game for like 2 weeks straight.
Oh my gosh! And I got this stack of baddies on both sides. We've played a bunch of the zombies. We've played a bunch of the superhero side. The superhero side is very interesting. Between the two sides, if you're playing the superhero side, everything is much more calculated in way you play. And on the zombie side, there's a lot more chaos in it, which I think we like the zombie side better. But just having the complete stack of all the different guys.
And what you mean by that is you're playing as the zombies.
You're playing
as heroes.
the zombies, yeah. And there's a lot more chaos in that one, just with the fact that the hunger trips you up sometimes, and it makes you powerful, but it trips you up, and you can't. It's hard to manage sometimes. Or the other side, you're managing your power, which is much more manageable and much more. You're not as strong as the zombies, really, but you're more controlled. But both sides are really cool, and just having a stack of 100 different guys that can attack you at any one time.
I told him.
It's amazing.
I said, because he was telling me, we played this every night for like the last week and a half. I was like, that better be on your top 10. And he was like, well, I don't know. We'll have to see.
Yeah.
I'm like, man.
The truth of the matter is, between this and Undead or Alive, I think I'm probably ready to get rid of Black Plague.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know that I'll play it again.
Say it ain't so.
I know.
Wow.
It's true.
Wow.
Like, I told Mel that we're going to have to sit down and play 3 or 4 games of each one just to see, but I don't think I'll pull Black Plague out again.
Interesting. See, I don't know that I would get rid of Black Plague because I like Green Horde so much. But interesting.
I'm not a fan of Green Horde just for the fact that I like Green Horde's mechanics. I like the hedges and I like the catapult, things like that. Yeah. But the fact that all the zombies do 2 damage and
the orcs are tough. Yeah.
It kind of off balances it a bit.
Yeah, I get it.
So
understand.
Unless you're using with the ultra powered weapons, which is another thing in Black Plague that I never really enjoyed a lot, is when you just have a crossbow that wipes everybody out.
Maybe we could play like a time machine version and use Marvel Zombies and Green Horde. What?
Mel played with Giant Man and Captain Marvel, and she's just smoking things. My last game I played with Venom. He's really freaking cool. He heals every round.
I want to take Hulk and play Green Horde.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. No, it's great. It is so much fun.
Yeah, I get it.
So I got to go back and play some Black Plague and see if I actually want to keep it around or not, if I want to make some Calyx space.
Yep, that's cool. All right. Well, that's our top 10 from 2023. Hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, we will be revisiting both of these lists next year. And I was thinking about it. I think
we probably won't revisit 22, right? We'll just do 23, revisit, and then do 24.
Maybe we revisit it every 5 years, or we revisit it for 5 years after that.
Oh yeah.
Like we'll revisit 2022 every year for the next 5 years. We'll revisit 23 every year for the next 5 years, and that'll be the thing that we kind of do, just to kind of provide continuity. See how it flows. Yeah. And if, we'll stop doing it whenever we want.
Whenever we get bored.
Yep, whenever we get bored of it. Well.
Right on. Appreciate it.
Thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. A shout out to GameToppersLLC.com for their sponsorship of the channel. We want to thank them for that. You can go check out their stuff. We're using the Ryan Laukat playmat because we just recorded the last one just a few minutes ago. So that's why we have a whole lot of stuff. They have a whole lot of stuff that you can take a look at. But go check them out. They're great people, great products. And great friendship there as well. So go check them out. But hey, we'll see you guys and gals on the flip side.
Take care.
See ya.